I had some questions on or relating to whaling surveillance. Could you confirm, I think what the Antarctic Division told us this morning, that only one surveillance flight has taken place this whaling season?
Thank you, Senator. Donna Petroshenko, Chief Advisor, International Biodiversity Sustainability, and Australia's Commissioner to the International Whaling Commission. Yes, Senator, I can confirm that there has been one flight using the A319 aircraft through Customs and Border Protection Service. Okay, and can you give us an idea of how long that flight lasted for and the type of area that they covered? In terms of operational details, that's something that should be directed towards Customs and Border Protection. Okay. So you can't answer any questions as to what type of surveillance equipment they used? No, I can't. Right. Okay. Can you give us an idea of cost? Yes, I can. Yep. If I recollect, $93,248. So $93,248. Okay. And
Senator, just to add to that, the cost is for the use of the aircraft. It's exclusive of any costs that the Australian Customs and Border Protection Service might endure. Okay, so that is the total cost for leasing the aircraft for a period of time, or just for the one flight? That's your question was how much did that flight cost, and that was. So that was just for that one. Just for the one flight. And who staffed the plane? Was that Customs? Was it Customs officials, or did you have anyone from the Environment? No, there was no one from the Environment Department there. It was manned by Customs and Border Protection. So what sort of arrangement did you have in place with them in terms of, do they report back to you the details of how often they, for example, spotted the whaling fleet, or how many dead whales they saw in the water? How was it supposed to work? The charter arrangements are through our department with Customs and Border Protection Service, and so they are in charge of the operation. So that's as simple as it is, and at the end of every operation there's normal debriefing with people who have been involved in the operation. So you would then get a debriefing, your department would get a debriefing, but you can't divulge the details of those debriefings? I think for all the operational questions, it would be most appropriate to go to Customs and Border Protection. Were you happy that it provided a disincentive to the Japanese whalers to enter Australian territorial waters, or the whale sanctuary? Well, I think that's a question asking our opinion or our feelings towards it, Senator. Yes. We saw the flight as meeting the government's commitment. Sorry, could you repeat that? We saw the flight as meeting the government's commitment. So it's meeting the government's commitment. Okay. Is there any reason why only one flight's taken place? Well, as Ms. Petroshenko said, for operational reasons, we don't go into the details of this. So you don't have any idea how many whales have been killed, for example? What happens every year, Senator, on that front is the Japanese are required to report the number of whales that they kill. Correct. They do that at the end of the season into the Whaling Commission meeting, which will be held in Slovenia in September of this year. Okay. So did you have discussions with other non-customs related departments about, for example, using an Orion aircraft or something that had a longer duration or capability? I'm not an expert at all in what is an operation, what's the best appropriate vessel, aircraft, whatever, for this type of operation. So again, I have to say that would be a question for Customs and Border Protection. Okay, two very quick questions. I understand Minister Hunt met with the Japanese ambassador before the whaling season. Are you aware of the details of the discussion, whether, for example, rules of engagement were discussed with the Japanese ambassador? It's regular for officials as well to meet with the Japanese. For example, one of the most important aspects is safety at sea. That's what this is all about. And there was a communique issued in conjunction with other countries, New Zealand, the Netherlands, the United States, reminding of all parties of the importance of safety at sea, and we delivered those messages here and in Tokyo.
I understand. However, I think speaking to Sea Shepherd this morning, they weren't convinced that there's safety at sea at the moment, and there's certainly no aircraft or Australian presence where they are.
We can't answer, obviously,
Okay, no,
the
look,
views of the Sea Shepherd.
it's fine. Previous government promised in July 2013 an extra $6 million for whale research. Is this still going to occur? Are you still committed to that ongoing funding?
There is funding in the forward estimates for $505,980,000.
Yeah.
And that money is being expended this financial year.
Okay.
And there's yet to be any decisions on a future work program.
Final question, Senator.
Final question. In terms of the costs that you mentioned about for the first surveillance flight, what have you got in the kitty for other flights? Do you expect there will be other surveillance flights?
I think Mr. Thompson referred to that this morning.
This morning, table 1.2, Senator, there's an amount there that provides for that. But that is a budgeted amount, it's a contingency amount, it doesn't
necessitate
say
spending.
how many flights there will be. So.
Okay, so have you been contacted today by Sea Shepherd requesting an additional flight, given the violence that occurred last night?
I have not.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Senator Whish-Wilson. Senator Erk.